Hey everyone, welcome to Refill with Pastor Mag. I'm Pastor Mag, and it's so great to be able to get together with you today. Now today we are in Psalm 36, and so let's start there, and we'll just work our way through. The psalmist says, "Transgression speaks to the wicked, deep in his heart. There is no fear of God before his eyes, for he flatters himself in his own eyes, that his iniquity cannot be found out and hated. The words of his mouth are trouble and deceit. He has ceased to act wisely and do good. He plots trouble while on his bed. He sets himself in a way that is not good. He does not reject evil. Your steadfastness, love, O Lord, extends to the heavens, your faithfulness to the clouds. Your righteousness is like the mountains of God. Your judgments are like the great deep. Man and beast you save, O Lord. How precious is your steadfast love, O God! The children of mankind take refuge in the shadow of your wings. They feast on the abundance of your house, and you give them drink from the river of your delights. For with you is the fountain of life. In your light do we see light. O continue your steadfast love to those who know you, and your righteousness to the upright heart. Let not the foot of arrogance come upon me, nor the hand of the wicked drive me away. There the evildoers lie fallen, and are thrust down, unable to rise." I really like this psalm. There's so much in here. First of all, I love how the psalmist starts off the psalm, and he says, "The transgression speaks to the wicked deep in his heart." You know, we've all done things that we're not proud of. We wish we never have done. We are ashamed that we have done them, and yet those things that creep up in the middle of the night don't define us. God defines us and says who we are. And yet, for the person who is constantly engaged in these transgressions, these actions that are counter to how God says to live, it constantly is speaking to their heart, deep in their heart, and yet there's no fear of God before His eyes. You know, it's amazing that what we do recognizes how much fear for God that we have. You know, if we are deeply fearful of God, realizing the power that He has and over us, that would keep us from doing many of the things that we do. And yet, because we don't have that fear of God, we engage in things that we never should have. And that's across the board, myself included. And so as we look here, we see a person who has a wicked heart, that they're constantly looking at wicked things, and they flatter themselves in their own eyes, that his iniquity cannot be found out and hated. They're deceiving, they're deceptive, and they enjoy that deceptiveness. The words of their mouth are trouble and deceit. They stop acting wisely and doing good. There's a lack of effort to even try to do what is right. They plot trouble while in his bed. He sets himself in a way that is not good. He does not reject evil. There's a cycle. They plan, they set it up, and then they execute the things that are not good. And yet, then we have God, and God is entirely different. In fact, the very next verse there in 5, your steadfast love, O Lord, extends to the heaven, your faithfulness to the clouds. You might recognize that from a song on the radio sometimes. Your love, O Lord, stretches to the heavens. You know, God's love is incredible. Even though that evildoer is doing those evil things, even though that's us sometimes, God's love stretches to the heavens, and His righteousness like the mountains, the judgments like the great deep. This God that we serve is not a small God, not a weak God. No, this God is incredible, greater and more grand than anything we've ever seen or experienced. And it continues down, and I love how the psalmist ends. "Let not the foot of arrogance come upon me, nor the hand of the wicked drive me away. There the evildoers lie fallen, they are thrust down, unable to rise." The psalmist realized how any of us can become that wicked person, that person who stops trying to live for God, that person who starts deceiving and planning on how they can do evil. And that's our prayer for us, that we are not becoming that person. That we look at that person, we recognize that God still loves that person who's doing wicked, and yet we do not want to become that person. That combination of love and fear of God, that we keep ourselves in line for God. You know, this is another great reminder. Today is Friday. Well, today is Friday. I don't know when you're going to watch, but it's a great reminder for the weekend as we go into the weekend. You know, if you've enjoyed these videos, if they've been helpful, a thumbs up or a heart button would be a really great, incredible peace to keep these videos going. They help us know that we're on the right track, that we're helping you, and it can encourage others out there too. Also, we meet every Sunday at 10:10 in Crossroads Church here in Custer, South Dakota, and we're also online on YouTube. You can find us there. You can just search up Crossroads of Custer and you'll find us right there. Now, whether I see you here in Custer, South Dakota, or I see you online, or I see you when Christ returns, we'll see you real soon.